Welcome back to another episode of Love It There.
Woo!
Happy 2024. Hope everybody's New Year's off to a good start already. I hope everybody had a great Christmas. I kind of missed the podcast episode I missed recording
it does feel like it's been a really long time, actually.
Yeah, and it also feels like a really long time since I've just talked to you in general, so I feel like we have a lot to actually catch up on.
Yeah, we actually haven't talked in a while, and we have a lot to recap on our New Year's Eve weekends.
Yes.
And also just recapping the 2023 year in general. I feel like this time of year is always such a reflective time to think back on the year and think about what's to come. We had originally planned on making this episode a normal travel episode, but when we were working on the outline, talking about what we wanted to talk about, we were I actually feel like we have a lot of stuff that we want to talk about and tell each other that it's gonna make it too long if we also try to fit in a city.
Yeah, basically our intro, the content we were just gonna put in the intro, we're we just have too much to say about closing thoughts on 2023 and upcoming thoughts for 2024. So that's gonna be this episode. We promise it's a good one. Still, don't turn it off.
Hopefully we're still entertaining enough, but yeah, we decided we wanted to do a little wrap up to the year just as our first episode of 2024, and then next week we'll get back into it like normal. So
yeah, but I've been dying to hear about Halle's New Year's Eve stories, so I literally haven't heard anything about her time in Nashville that she spent for New Year's Eve, so we need to get into this.
Yeah, okay, New Year's Eve, crazy.
As expected.
If you guys remember, a couple weeks ago, I said that I was going down to Nashville to celebrate New Year's Eve, which it's my favorite place ever. So I was so excited to go back. And I told my dad that I was going back down there, and he told me that they were going to start making me pay taxes down there because I'm there all the time.
Oh my gosh. Honestly, I'm jealous.
Yeah, it was, well, okay, we're gonna get into it. It was wild, not in the ways that you would expect it to be wild.
I mean, honestly, I expect the unexpected with you, so.
Yes, okay, so New Year's Eve recap. So we had tickets to go to Jason Aldean. So if you've been to Broadway and Nashville before, you know that usually there's no cover and you can just hop around from bar to bar, which is why it's so fun. But on New Year's, obviously, it's crazy. So you have to buy tickets. Mm-hmm. So we dropped a bag on tickets to go to Jason Aldean's because that's the place to be. That's where you want to be. So we're whatever, it'll be worth it. We're going to spend the money and it's going to be the best night ever. So we get into Jason Aldean's. We're having a great time. Everything is going great until I get separated from the group, which tends to be a me problem.
Yes, I don't
really know how that happens. Anyways, I'm doing a lap around the bar. I'm just minding my own business. And then I bump into two of my friends for their own well-being. I'm going to use what are they called? Aliases?
Yeah, fake names.
Yeah.
But these are you ran into two of your friends that you went on the trip with.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. The girls that I'm with. So yeah. I run into Julie and Vanessa. Okay.
Perfect.
That's who we're calling them. And so I'm oh, Julie, Vanessa, hey guys. They're at the bar and they're talking to a group of 3 men and they're getting some free drinks. So I'm okay, they're cooking, let's go. So I show up and I just jump right into the convo. I'm oh, who are you new friends? I'm just seeing what the vibes are, whatever.
Right.
So then these guys, they're getting us drinks, casual conversation, everything is going according to plan. But then I turn around and I see Julie hammering the shots. Okay.
Oh no.
Every time I turn around, she's taking another shot. And I'm okay.
Julie.
A little unlike Julie. And so I'm a little concerned. Julie's taking a lot of shots, but I'm surely she's fine. She should know her limits. Whatever. So like I said, there were 3 guys at the bar. So each one of us ended up talking to each one of the guys. We're just it's casual conversation, nothing crazy. We're so where are you from? That's
right.
The extent of the conversation. Okay, so then all of a sudden Vanessa decides she wants to go back into the mosh pit. I'm just along for the ride. So I'm like, sure, Vanessa, let's go into the mosh pit. So we make our way in there. Immediately when we enter the mosh pit, I lose Julie and Vanessa.
Oh my gosh.
I'm stuck alone with this guy that I don't want to be talking to. Okay, he's not interesting. I'm like trying to get away from him, but I cannot find my friends. So I'm like meandering through the mosh pit trying to find my girls. And this goes on for like 15 minutes. I'm like trying to find them. And then I find Vanessa in the crowd. I'm like, oh, Vanessa, great. Where's Julie? And Vanessa was like, oh, I thought Julie was with you.
Oh, no.
I was like, no, where's Julie?
Julie's still at the bar ripping the shots.
So I turn to the guy that's with me. I'm like, hey, can you text your friend that's with Julie and figure out where they are? The text he sends back, he gets back from his friend is...
Oh, no.
Julie's with emergency services.
Oh, my gosh.
Yes.
Wait, how much time had passed since you guys got
minutes.
to the bar?
Oh, we had been at the bar for like an hour and a half at this point.
Oh,
like,
okay. I literally thought you just walked in and then she's
no, it's like
already
it's like 11:15. Like we got there at like 9.
Okay.
And so, or like 9:30. So, and it's like 11:15 when we find out she's with emergency services. So, we have to make a trek downstairs with me and my other friend,
Monica.
With Monica. Okay, so my other friend, Monica, I grab her and I say, Monica, Julie is with emergency services. We need to go downstairs and figure this out. So we go downstairs and like leave the bar. It's like not funny. Like now it's funny. It's funny now because it's in the past.
I'm scared. Tell me what happened.
Out and Julie's in the back of an ambulance. Okay.
Oh my gosh. No. Wait.
Seriously, we were with her 15 minutes ago. Okay. All this has happened in the span of 15 minutes. We were with her. She was fine, having a great time. And then within 15 minutes of me losing her in the mosh pit, she gets in the back of an ambulance.
Wait, actually, could you tell that she was like unwell?
No. Like I knew she was drunk, but I had no, like he told me she was with emergency services. I was like, no, she's not. Like, don't joke about that.
Oh,
like what?
Oh my gosh. Okay, wait, so what was she doing when you see her? Is she like belligerent or is she like passed out?
No, she's just like sitting in the chair, like talking to the people.
Wait, okay, what happened? Finish your story.
So I'm with Monica and we both walk up to get into the ambulance, but the like EMT only lets Monica in. He's like, sorry, only one at a time. I literally looked at him. I was like, sir, that's my best friend. You want me to just sit out here and wait? And he was like, yes, only one allowed at a time. So I was like, okay. So I'm like looking through the window at Monica and Vanessa, like Monica and Julie. Sorry, I'm getting my fake names confused. At Monica and Julie in the ambulance. Monica's like signing all these papers. I'm like, what is happening? Like, I don't know what is going on because like I can't hear anything that's going on. I'm literally like looking through the window of the ambulance. So then they both come out.
Including Julie.
Monica and Julie come out of the ambulance and Monica's like, they did a bunch of vital tests on her. She's completely fine. Like, we just need to take her home.
Okay. And Julie at this point is just like a happy drunk.
Yeah. But like she needs to go home.
Right.
And so we have to find an Uber. And there are no Ubers available on Broadway. So we have to walk like a quarter mile outside of Broadway. Julie can't walk. Okay. She's not a walker. She's not walking. We're carrying Julie. And we're just like the stares we got. It was so bad. So eventually we find an Uber and we get in this Uber at like 11:55 p.m. And so the clock hits midnight and me and Monica just like turn and look at each other in the Uber. We're like, Happy New Year, girl. Welcome to 2024. The fireworks are like going off behind us, like in the distance. And we're like, wow, this is just so not what we expected for New Year's Eve. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So that was my New Year's Eve.
So, okay, wait, so you put Julie away, you tuck her into bed, and then do you
put her away.
Or do you go back
dude.
to the bar?
No, we couldn't go back. Like, at this point, the night was, like, ruined. Like, we were like, bruh, what? How did this just happen? Like, we were so annoyed.
Oh my gosh. I cannot believe that.
Yeah. So we had a stern talking with Julie in the morning.
Yeah.
And some very loving but stern words were said about the night's events. Because like I said, we dropped a bag on those tickets.
Yeah, she just went a little too hard. She, wanted to have a New Year's party to remember, and she had one she'll never remember at all.
Yeah.
Wait, so did we find out, like, why emergency services were called on her? Or, like, what
basically,
she was doing?
The guy she was with said that she just, like, kept stumbling. And that
he was like by herself. Yeah.
Well, he was with her.
Yeah.
And he was like, okay, this girl, like, keeps falling. And so I think he, like, told a security guard. Yeah. And then they, like, took her downstairs.
Yeah. Oh my god.
But she was she wasn't completely fine, but, like, they did, like, the tests on her, and they were like, she doesn't need to go to the hospital. Like, she's fine.
Yeah.
But just, like, take her home.
Right. Oh my gosh. Okay. Wait, so then you were saying you had another night there? Like, you guys went out the next night?
Yeah. So then we're like, well, we're all going out tomorrow night, and, like, we're having a blast because we didn't get to have fun last night. Like, we obviously did leading up to it. Like, we had, like,
but
a couple hours.
You rang in New Year's Eve with an Uber driver.
Exactly.
Instead of with Jason Aldean at his bar.
Exactly. 100%. It's just not what we expected. But so we're like, whatever. We still have one more night. Like, we're going to have fun because we deserve it.
Oh, absolutely.
And yeah. And so Julie comes with us, but she's not drinking. We put her on sober duty.
Yeah.
And so we're all out. We're having a fun time, like, whatever. And me and Julie decide we want to leave because we ended the night back at Jason Aldean's because that's where we always end the night. It's a given. And so we decide we're, like, ready to go. We want to get some hot dogs. And
no, not the dirty street meat again.
Okay. This does not end like that.
Okay.
So we get our hot dogs and we get them. We're great, having a good time. And we're like, we really don't want to go back in. We're going to go just, like, find somewhere to sit and just hang out. And so we end up going into this really cool Taco Bell. Okay. You have to be, like, 21 to enter because they have, like, Taco Bell margaritas and, like, it was, like, fancy.
Interesting. Okay.
So we end up sitting in this Taco Bell and, like, talking forever and just, like, hanging out. And then we get an Uber to go home. And so we're back at the Airbnb, and Julie checks her location and sees that Vanessa's at the bar. And so she's like, okay, everybody's still at Jason Aldean's. We're good. And we go to put the door code in because the door was locked. We go to put it in, but then the code locks the door. So we were like, oh my gosh, did they leave and not lock the door when they left?
No.
Like, are you kidding me? And we're like, geez, hopefully, like, nobody came in our Airbnb. It was freaking left unlocked all night.
Yeah.
And then we hear dishes crashing in our Airbnb. And we literally look at each other and we're like, oh my God. And we sprint down the street because we're like, someone's literally inside of our Airbnb. Yeah. And Julie is like, okay, we should probably call the cops. Yeah. Like, somebody's in our Airbnb. Like, we need to call 911.
Oh my gosh, the panic.
Yeah, we are freaking out. Okay, so we, like, walk to, like, the main street because we're like, we need to be in, like, a public place right now because we're, like, freaking out.
Right.
And so we're, like, texting in our group chat and we're like, guys, like, somebody is in our Airbnb right now. Like, you guys left the door unlocked and somebody is freaking in our Airbnb. And so I, like, dial 911. It's ringing. Okay, it is ringing. And then we get a text from our other friend who's with us.
Lucy.
What do we want to call her? Lucy. Okay. So then we get a text from Lucy, who we thought was with Vanessa and everybody else at the bar. She said, oh, no, guys, I'm inside. And we're like, why is she separated from everybody else? When did she get home? We had no idea. So then I have to hang up on 911.
Oh, gosh.
And then Lucy's calling my phone. And she's like, dude, like, I didn't know. Like, I thought you were an intruder trying to break in. Like, I'm in here. Like,
Oh
don't
my
worry, it's just
gosh.
me. And while I'm on the phone with her, I'm getting calls from 911 like back to me, trying to
Oh
figure out like why I hung up
no.
on them.
Oh
So these like
jeez.
911 dispatchers are like trying to call me. So I'm like, sorry, Lucy, 1 second. Like, the police are calling me.
Oh.
So then I had to like get back on the phone with 911 and be like, no, everything's okay. This is what happened. It was a misunderstanding. They like made me give them all the details. It was this whole ordeal.
Oh my gosh, Halle.
And
This
so
should
we get
oh,
it was so bad.
only you.
So
Only you.
finally we get into the Airbnb and we're like, Lucy, why are you here by yourself? She's like in her pajamas cleaning the apartment. And we're like, what are
Breaking
you
dishes.
doing? Yes, like doing the dishes. And that's what we heard. And so she was like, oh yeah, like I ordered an Uber because we all wanted to go, and then everybody decided they wanted to stay, but I had already ordered the Uber, so I just like took the Uber and came back. But like everybody else is still there, which is why when we checked their locations, it said they were all still there,
Right.
but we just didn't have Lucy's location. And so it was a whole thing that
Oh
we
my
like
gosh.
it was just a big misunderstanding, but it was so funny. We like fully thought we were like gonna get murdered.
No, that would be so scary because I'm just picturing where we stayed on New Year's Eve when we went to Nashville, and it was like so sketchy. Like if
We
that would
also
happen
were
to
not.
us. Yeah.
We were not in the best area either.
I mean,
and
you
so,
spend the money on the tickets to get into the bar on New Year's Eve. You don't spend the money on the Airbnb, regretfully. And
yeah,
then these sort of things are very plausible.
yeah. And it was just the fact that we were like, oh my God, the door was left unlocked. Like, I hope
Right.
nobody's in there. And then there was like dishes moving, like crashing upstairs. And we were like, oh my God.
No, yeah, that would have been so scary. Well, thank
Yeah.
God nothing actually happened.
So everything actually ended up being okay. And New Year's Day was great.
Julie didn't
Everything
have to
went
go to the
according to plan.
hospital, and Lucy
Nobody
wasn't an
was contacted by
intruder.
emergency services. We got to take the small victories over here. So,
Oh my gosh. So, okay. Well, that's quite a New Year's Eve.
yeah, I think I've like realized that I've like done my time in Nashville. I think it's time to move on. I've been there 5 times.
And it's been very eventful in
Every
not
single
the best
time
way,
something
every time.
seems to happen.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know, maybe this is a sign that I should put it in my past.
Well, my New Year's Eve was pretty low key. No events such as that occurred.
Did you have a little get together?
Yes, a friend had a little party. They have a little band now, which is just like so cute. They would be so
Aw.
mad if I was like, "Oh, their band is so cute," but it's just like these goofy guys that like don't take anything seriously except for this little band that they've created. And it was actually so fun because they like played live music. So I like the vibes were just high. It was so fun.
Okay, so your 2024 started out amazing. So maybe this
Yeah.
is a sign for you that your year's going to be great. My 2024 started out really depressing. So maybe this is a sign that I need to look out for bad things coming my way.
No, you can't look into it that much. You just have to roll with it. And it was just a test to see how you handle adversity, and you're good to go now for the rest of the year.
You're so right. You know, maybe also it's like it started off on rock bottom, so it can only go up
You
from
can
here.
only go up. Only go up.
That's how I'm going to look at it.
Well, okay. Do you want to share like your thoughts on 2023 before we kind of like move into 2024 and the new year stuff?
Yeah, so we did like a question on our Instagram asking for everybody to send their New Year's like ins and outs for 2024. So I'll go through like some of these because I thought some of them are interesting.
And for those that don't know, ins are like, this is like a TikTok trend, which I remember this was like a trend also for a little bit when I was in high school, but it's kind of made its resurgence. But ins are basically just things in general that you want to try to do, or just like habits or things like that are going to be like the thing to do in 2024. Outs obviously are just like things you used to do or things you don't want to focus on anymore in the new year.
Which is actually really interesting because me and one of my friends were talking about how we've been like looking at everybody's ins and outs and how some of them like make us self-conscious because people will say like outs that were like, oh, we didn't know that was a bad thing. Like,
Right,
should we not
I
be
know.
doing this? Like one of them I saw ankle socks and I was like, I love ankle socks. What?
And that's like kind of why I don't personally like ins and outs, because it's so, I don't know. I feel like it's trying to be like, oh, this is what should be for everybody, but it's just truly,
Right.
it's just your own personal opinion. So you can't like take someone else's ins and outs and be like, oh, this is what it's supposed to be. So
Yeah. Well, for me, ankle socks are always going to be in. One of my friends said out Snapchat, which I also agree. I think
that's been
Snapchat is
out for
on the
a long
decline.
time for me.
Yeah. I just like, I don't know. It's so hard to let go of because I have so many pictures and videos in my Snapchat memories. And so it's like I always find myself like re-downloading it to get those like pictures and videos when I want to like tell a story. And I'm like, oh, it's on Snapchat and I don't have it. But I actually like feel like I'm ready to like move on.
You're ready
from my
to move
Snapchat
on.
era. Yeah. I think I'm putting it behind me. But
Wow,
we'll
big
see. I'll have to keep you
steps.
guys updated on that. She also said out White Claw surges, which is such a hot take because I love a White Claw surge.
Oh my gosh. We were drinking Topo Chicos for New Year's Eve, and people did have White Claw surges, but I reached for the Topo Chico, so she might be onto something there.
Yeah, I do like high noons, but
Mm-hmm.
I also will forever love White Claw surges. But as far as like drinks go, I say in gin and tonics and out vodka sodas.
Those are both out for me forever and always.
Bad experience?
No, not bad experience. I just personally do not like gin and tonic or vodka soda. I need something that tastes a little bit less like alcohol.
What is your go-to?
I like a good Moscow Mule. Recently, I've liked French 75s, but nobody knows how to make those, so it's a bit of a struggle.
Like at a bar?
Like at weddings. I tried to order a French 75 at the wedding I went to this past weekend. They didn't make it. They didn't know how to make it. I had to tell them how to make it. And then he just didn't taste good. And then at our New Year's Eve party, we had a bartender there, or like a guy that was like being the bartender.
Yeah.
And I asked for a French 75. It's made with gin and champagne, or like gin and Prosecco are the main two like alcohol ingredients. And he goes, I put my own little twist on it. And he put bourbon in it. I'm like, if you ask for a French 75, this is a very light, girly, celebratory drink. You don't put bourbon in it. It was brown. I was like, no. So I've just given up on ordering that.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
Okay, a couple other ins and outs. This is another in that somebody said, which I completely agree with, lip gloss. I am so in my lip gloss era.
Same.
Yeah, Kelsey has hers on. I don't even have any on right now because I actually just got home from Nashville like 20 minutes ago. So if I look disheveled, it's because I am. Oh, somebody else said in journaling. I'm personally not a journaler. I could never like get myself to do that. But do you journal?
Yeah. I do not journal. We have this thing that mom actually got us for Christmas last year, and it's like a little prompt question a day for couples. And so Jackson and I fill it out every day, and it's like a 3-year journal. So
wait, that's so cute.
Yeah. So we've just finished our full year of 2023. And so now when we go back and do it, we're answering the same questions, but it's just a year later. So now we're going to be able to like see what we answered for last year. So that's about as close to journaling as I get, but we've enjoyed it. It's been nice.
I feel like that's the point of journaling, right? It's just to like be reflective on your life and get yourself to think about things that you like wouldn't normally think about. But.
And it's good. I feel like this book is good for couples, honestly, because it's just like sparked some conversations that we wouldn't have really like thought about or anything. Like some of the questions are pretty easy and not thought provoking, but others like get pretty deep. So it's like created this safe space and opportunity to talk about these things. So
yeah, wait, that's such a good idea.
Yeah.
Okay, another in was more reading, which that's like always a goal for me. I'm always like telling myself like less screen time, more reading, and sometimes I'm better at it than other times. But I always love hearing like what people's book recommendations are. And Kelsey, you like read more books than I do, so I'm curious what you think.
Yeah, so 2022 I read 25 books, and so 2023 I wanted to read 26 books, and I was on track for that until we started this podcast, and then that really like set me back a little bit because I spend a lot of time
sacrifices we make.
Yeah, I spend a lot of time editing now, so but I think I read like 20 3 books or something. And so yeah, follow me on Goodreads. I love a Goodreads buddy, but I don't
One
know.
of my friends, speaking of Goodreads, she like got a notification from Goodreads at the end of the year, and it was like, congrats, like you were in the top 1% of Goodreads users. And she was like, I feel so humbled. I feel like I just got called out for being an antisocial loser.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I feel like
No,
that's
I was like,
flex.
that's so impressive. I was like, no, that's such a flex. You should be so proud. And she was like, okay, good. I like didn't know how to feel.
So, okay, well, I'm reading the Court of Thorns and Roses series right now, which I know Halle is too.
Yeah.
And everybody, I need your feedback on this because I'm struggling. I feel like this was all over like Instagram. I'm not on TikTok, but I know it was all over TikTok of everybody being like, this book is great. Like, this series is crazy, especially like the ending. And okay, I'm a quarter of the way through. I'm like 200 pages into the second book. And
it's like almost 700 pages. Like they're thick.
So I read the whole first book, which is like 400 pages. And then now I'm 200 pages into the second one, and I just cannot get into it. The main character annoys me so much. It just like
she is like very unlikable.
It makes no sense. She just fully abandons her family and doesn't even try to go back.
Whoa, we can't spoil here. Okay. You can't say that.
Well, I'm gonna get mad. I'm just confused. It's just not real. Like, obviously, it's not realistic. For those that don't know, it's literally like fairyland and like monsters and like magic and things, which I'm not normally into per se. But this, I'm just like, it's not even the character development is poor. I don't know.
Yeah. So I am also reading the second book, but I'm like almost done with it at this point. I think I only have like 50 or 100 pages left. But it did like start getting really good, but at page like 400. And I was like so annoyed because I'm like, yeah, it is good. But I just read this for 400 pages.
Yeah. So like somebody tell me if this is worth my time. I am really bad at not finishing books. Like, even if I hate it, I'm like, oh, just read this, like get through it so that I can move on to my next book. But I'm like, I feel like I have to read this whole freaking series. So I'm like, is it really truly worth it for me? So somebody needs to weigh in and let me know if I should power through.
Is it good enough? Like, is the ending really that good to read like 2 additional 600-page books?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Especially when I'm like, I have high hopes for the amount of books I'm going to read this year. These are big ones. It's going to take up a lot of my reading time. So
true.
But yeah, I have a long list. I want to read Britney Spears' memoir. I love a good memoir. So I really am interested to read that one. That's like next on my list for sure.
Britney Spears and I have the same birthday, if you didn't know.
Yeah, birthday twins. Oh my gosh.
I feel like a special
Sagittarius.
With Britney, so yeah.
A little crazy.
Sagittarius queen.
Yeah.
We're wild, if you didn't know. We're super spontaneous.
Speaking of like reading or whatever, I just also started Succession, which is not reading, it's a show obviously, but I know I'm a little behind on that train, but everybody talks about how good that is. I watched the first episode a long time ago, like 2 years ago when it first came out, and I didn't get into it, and then I've just been hearing more people talk about it, so I'm like, okay, I needed a new show to watch while I'm walking on my treadmill, so I'm like,
hot girl walk.
Yeah, let's, in the winter, you gotta do what you gotta do. But started watching Succession. It's actually so funny. It's like dry humor. It's like funny because it's so serious what they're doing, but it's just like hilarious. I don't know, I was like cracking up, so I'm into it.
Is it on Netflix? I haven't watched it either.
It's on HBO Max.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's good.
What is it about? Like a queen?
No. It's about this like family, this rich, entitled New York family. And
I totally thought it was about like a royal family, and like, isn't Succession like who gets the crown next?
It's basically the like dad, and he's like dying, and so it's like who's gonna take over the family business. It's basically like an Americanized royal family kind of.
Okay, got it.
It's like fake. I mean,
that's like not what I thought it was about at all. So
yeah,
maybe I should look into it.
I feel like you would like it because didn't you like Suits?
No.
Oh,
I like could not get into Suits, which also is like so unheard of. Everyone loves Suits, and I was just like, I don't get it. I don't get why it's that good. I don't know.
No, Well, I felt like it was like kind of similar vibes, but I feel like it's better than Suits just because it's newer and like the content is more relatable and funny. So,
Okay, interesting. Yeah. Got it.
But
what other books? Anything else? All of my friends are reading. This is like gonna expose them so much. They're all reading Icebreaker. Have you heard of that?
No.
It's this like super raunchy, like it's like a bad quality book.
Well, I feel like
everybody's reading it, so
people are saturated on Colleen Hoover content, but they're missing that like spicy element. So yes. I feel like that's why the Court
people
of Thorns
got
and Roses
hooked
have
on
those.
The spicy books from Colleen Hoover.
They have those little spicy elements in them. So yeah, now people are like, where can we get our fix now?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of. I feel like there's definitely been some other books that people have been talking about.
I read Daisy Jones and the Six this past year, and I know Halle, you and I have talked about it, but the book was very good. It was really different than any other books out there, I feel like, but the show is amazing.
We've talked about it before because it has Sam Claflin in it, who's my favorite actor ever, and he killed it. The show is so good because it also has like its own, because okay, so it's based on, what is it, Fleetwood Mac?
Yeah, but it's not. I mean, it's fictional, but it's like
right, but it's like based on the story of Fleetwood Mac, and so they do all their own like original songs for the show.
Yeah,
and it's so good.
I just like ugly cried at the end. It just felt so real. I was like, oh my gosh, the way, because it's like documentary style where they're like interviewing the people in the band and they're like looking back at their time in the band, and it just,
guys,
like,
it's so good.
Oh my gosh, it's so good. I seriously cannot recommend it enough. But
yeah, it's so good.
I mean, the book's good too. So if you're looking for a book, read that. But then you have to, if you read Daisy Jones and Six, you have to watch the show. You have to. If you're not going to read the book, it's fine. Watch the show. But
it's one of the few like book movie or like book show combos that the show is better than the book.
Agree.
Just because the book like talks about all the songs, but like obviously you can't hear them. So when you actually hear the songs, you're like, wow, this is so good. But okay, what about you, Kels? What are your like thoughts on 2023?
Okay.
Your goals for 2024?
So yeah, I didn't do like ins and outs. I just had like general thoughts about 2023. And 2023 surprised me. Okay. I felt like it could have been a little bit of a letdown. Like 2022, I got married, went on my honeymoon, bought a house, like did all these like big
2022
things.
Slayed for Kelsey.
2022 was a great year. And it could have just, 2023 could have just been like settling into the monotony of life. But I really feel like it was like a good year for me. Like I made new friends. I like challenged myself. Like I did a triathlon. We started this podcast and got some great travel in. Got really good experiences with my existing friends. Like, I don't know. It was just like a really good year that just like I keep building on things and not like settling, which I was just like really happy about. And okay, the only other thing that I like my like thought when I was reflecting on 2023 is for some reason like family kept coming to mind, and I just like felt like this year really just showed me how important our family is, and how how protective I feel of our family, and just like the deep rooted like familiarity and understanding we have for one another, like especially siblings, because we are the only ones who have like gone through the exact same childhood. Like your childhood shapes you so much, and just you and your siblings are the ones that like can truly understand that. And I feel like that just like creates this like crazy bond that nobody else can really truly understand.
Yeah, I agree with that. I was like feeling that way this year too, because this Christmas was the first Christmas that Kelsey and I hadn't spent together, because she spent it with Jackson and his family.
Sad.
And it just like felt so weird. And it's like as you get older, like Christmas isn't as big of a deal, obviously. So it's like it honestly just kind of felt like another day. So it wasn't like anything crazy, but it just like did make me think like, wow, like it's so different when you like don't spend it with like your entire family, and it just like felt like something was missing, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's just, you spend so much of your life with your family. And I think it just like you just realize, like, wow, how much like my family has had like such a big impact on me, and how, I'm grateful that our family feels that way. I know not every family is like that, but just made me super grateful for my fam.
Yeah, going off that note a little bit, but I saw this quote that was like, maturing is realizing that the excitement around the holidays was all created by your parents. And
Yeah.
I was like, that's actually so true. Like, the magic of it all is like all just completely like the effort of like what your parents do to like make it exciting and make it fun.
Right.
And it just like makes you, when you think about it like that, it like makes me appreciate my family and like the effort that they would put into the holidays, because it's like obviously it wasn't special to them. Like when you grow up you realize, okay, Christmas is literally just another day of the year that you
Right.
like, it's exciting because you usually are with family and like eat a lot of food, but like it's just like any other day. The only
Right.
reason it was exciting is because like your parents made it exciting.
Yeah, or just like the traditions that your family has created around a certain holiday or something. Like traditions can really just make something feel really special and comfortable. So it's important to like start new traditions when you like grow up and grow older. And
Yeah,
so, yeah, but moving into 2024, since I felt like 2023, I didn't really have that like super high of expectations, but I'm just like hoping to just kind of keep riding that into 2024, and like keep working on like, improving myself and spending. I want to like spend my free time doing things that are going to be like self-improvement sort of things for myself, and really focus on that. But that's really all I got for moving into 2024. I'm excited with every year. I feel like getting closer to 30 is becoming like exciting for me for some reason.
really, that is
Yes.
such a hot take. I've never heard anybody say that.
No, I'm like, I don't know. I just feel like with each year I gain a little bit of confidence. I'm still like far away from that, but I just remember like being in PA school and being like, oh my gosh, cannot wait until I'm not a student anymore and I actually like know what I'm doing and feel comfortable or whatever. Like I can't, being a poor college student, being like, can't wait till like I have a career and I have a salary and I can like do
Yeah,
things I want to do. And I just like feel
and you
like,
actually feel like self-sufficient.
yes, I feel like I'm getting to that independent, confident state again. Still a long way away from ideal, but I just feel like with each passing year, it's getting there. So,
Yeah, to me, I feel like this year I'm like nervous for 2024, but also excited because I know this is going to be a year of a ton of change, because obviously in May I'm graduating from IU, which is going to be coming along with a ton of emotions, just like leaving a lot of friends, and like I love IU, so it's going to be sad, but it's also exciting because I'm like moving back to Indy, and so I'll be around like some people that I haven't seen in a while and like starting a new chapter of my life in school. So I'm like a little uneasy about it because I'm like, I literally have no idea what this year is going to be like. I know it's going to be crazy, but yeah, I feel like just going into it with an open mind and being like, every new chapter of life like brings new and exciting things, and like, yeah, it might be sad to leave the old chapter behind, but that's just like a part of life. So I'm trying
yeah.
to get my mind around that. But
Yeah, it's all about your perspective and how you can look at the situation.
okay, also we've been getting some comments on our YouTube videos, so shout out everybody who watches on video. You guys have been some good dedicated watchers on the YouTube, because we've been getting some comments from people, and it's actually really cool because we've gotten a couple comments from people that are from Spain.
Yeah,
That
we've
when we
like
talk
really
about,
hit a niche into Spain, and I think we've gained a lot of new YouTube subscribers and listeners or watchers from Spain, which has been really cool.
yeah, super cool. And we've gotten a couple comments about, like, for example, when we talked about in Madrid, the tradition of like eating grapes on New Year's Eve and how that's like different. Like, people don't, like, some people do that in the US, but it's not as well known of a tradition. And we got a comment from someone from Spain that was like, wow, I had no idea that that wasn't like a common tradition. Like, that's so interesting.
In the
And that's
US,
like,
yeah.
yeah, in the US. And that's like the goal of like this podcast. Like, for me,
Right.
like, I love getting to like discover the different like the differences in each culture and how each culture is so unique. And like, obviously when you travel, you get to experience those for yourself, but like for people that don't get the chance to travel, to like still learn about these things and these like little discoveries that you can make along the way. And so to me, that's like so fun when people think that like the differences in the cultures are cool, because that's what I find super interesting too.
Yeah, for sure. So anybody who's like watching or listening that are our international listeners, I know we have some people from Belgium that listen a lot. So we love you guys. We see
Shout
you.
out Belgium.
Yeah. So please like let us know what your thoughts are on the stuff we talk about and what your traditions are and how that varies and everything. We love it.
And also the best places to go in Belgium, because neither of us have been.
Right.
So
yeah,
maybe that'll be our future trip.
Yeah, but also people were informing us and commenting like helpful information when we ask for it. So if you remember in our Alcala, Spain episode, when Halle was talking about like the food she was eating in the dorms, and there was like this
that looked
weird
like poop. It was so
literally
gross.
looked like a little black turd on her plate, and we were like, somebody help us, what is this? We don't know. And so we got a comment, and it says, that black thing on the plate is morcilla. If you look in the Spanish dictionary of Spanish language, it has 3 meanings, but the first one is like the real one. So it says piece of pork, mutton, or cow intestine or similar material filled with cooked blood, which is seasoned with spices and frequently onion, and to which other ingredients are usually added, such as rice, pine nuts, breadcrumbs, etc. So,
which,
and then it's
I'm
like,
sorry, that's foul.
Yeah,
I know that's your culture. Like there's probably so many American foods that people are like, that's foul. Like spray cheese, like that's what we consider food. So it's like I can't even talk.
Right.
But that is foul.
So my question is, I want to know, is this like a commonly served dish, or is it like cheap cafeteria food? Like, you know, we have like questionable foods that are served in American cafe or cafeterias
Right.
and like dorms.
So
That
you like can't judge American cuisine based off of like cafeteria food.
Yes. So like, is morcilla actually like this delicacy that can be, when prepared well, it's like really good, versus like, I mean, imagine if they were serving like, I'm trying to think of like an American delicacy food that's just like a cheap version that's served at a cafeteria. Like obviously it's not going to be the same. It's going to be
like
gross.
Sushi or something.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, that's not even American. That's Japanese.
Like gas station sushi.
Yeah. But yeah, so I'm curious about that. But super helpful. Thank you for the comment. I don't know how we would have really figured that out. So she also said we were very funny in this comment. So thank you.
Stop.
You're making me blush.
We love our fans.
No, actually, no. I mean, this podcast has been so fun. You know, this is our 15th episode. We have lots of plans to keep this going through 2024. So I'm happy for all of our listeners, but honestly, we're just having fun with this. So it's been a nice, like, little creative outlet, and it's just
fun little hobby.
Yeah,
we've been having fun with it. So
Exactly.
It makes us happy that, like, I don't know. Obviously, like, we have fun talking to each other and like we entertain ourselves, but we never really know if like anybody else is entertained. So hearing that validation is like, it's good. It keeps us motivated to keep going. So
yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Well, I think that's really all we had to cover today. We will get back to the travel content next week. Sorry, I know it's been like a couple weeks, but we have a good lineup for the next few episodes and we're really excited about it. So be on the lookout for an opportunity to send in your listener questions. We love getting feedback from you guys, like we just said. And yeah, anything else from you, Kels?
If you want to subscribe to our YouTube channel, do that so you can see our beautiful faces. Otherwise, make sure you follow or subscribe on your podcast app, whatever you listen to. And please, please, please rate and review us. It makes us so happy and just gives us the motivation to keep going. It really means a lot when you do. So if you are a frequent listener and haven't done that, that would be awesome. So
all right, guys. I hope you guys all have a great week, and we will see you next week on Thursday.
Bye.